Hi everyone, this is Sean from Hancock Guitars. I've got this cool Echo guitar that came in for some repair work, and I'm going to show how you can check the frets on a guitar in under 1 minute. This is the check that I do when a customer brings a guitar in and I want to make sure there's nothing wrong with the frets and fretboard before I proceed with any other work. But you can use these checks if you're thinking of buying a guitar and you want to make sure there's nothing wrong with the fretboard and frets, or also on your guitars that you already have to see if they need any work potentially. So the first thing that I do is just check the edges of the fretboard just with my fingers, and you want to feel if there's any sharpness to the frets. You may have even noticed that on your own guitar while playing it. It isn't a big issue if the frets are sticking out. It's probably just that the fretboard's shrunk a little bit and the frets, obviously being metal, stay the same length, so they end up poking out. And they can be taken off with abrasives such as these available from Australian luthier supplies, finishing paper and micro mesh. And then the corners of the frets can be taken off using a fret end dressing file. The next thing you want to check for is high or pop frets, and this is a bigger issue than frets that are sticking out the edges of the fretboard, because it could indicate the guitar needs a fret dress or gluing the frets, which is a more serious job. So the way you can check that is by running a fret rocker over the frets. This is a small multi-sided straight edge. You use it by simply sitting it on the top of the frets, using the side that's appropriate for 3 frets, and you can just run it along and actually check if there's any rock. And if it's rocking, that means that the fret in the middle is higher than the other 2 frets. So for example, on this guitar, the 3rd fret is a little bit high. You can hear and see the fret rocker rocking. That indicates that that fret may have popped up, or they just didn't grind it down far enough when they did the fret dress in the factory. So depending on how the guitar is set up and how low the action is, that high fret could actually cause the string to buzz in that area and be a problem. The final thing you want to check is for loose frets. There's a couple of ways you can check that. One is just to look down the fretboard. And often you'll see that 1 fret or 2 frets are popping up above the others. This indicates that the frets have come unseated since they were put in the guitar, and they might potentially cause buzz or also a bit of a dead note when you're playing on those frets. If you can't see them by looking down the fretboard, another technique is to actually tap on the frets using a metal object. The fret rocker works quite well for this. So I'm going to start up this end because I know there's actually some slightly loose frets here. So I'm listening to the kind of sound that it makes. A well-seated fret will have kind of a sharp, solid sound, whereas a loose fret will have more of a hollow sound due to the fact that there's a bit of air between the fret and the fretboard. So the 12th fret is well seated on this guitar. You can hear that's quite a bright, solid sound compared to the 15th fret, which sounds a little bit loose. Not too bad, but it's not as solid as the 12th fret. So that could be an indication that the guitar needs the fret gluing underneath and a fret dress. So if you do find that there's any issues with the frets on a guitar that you're thinking of buying, it might be worth steering away from the guitar, or at least factoring in that when you negotiate a price that you may have to do some fret work on the guitar to get it playing really well. I hope that's helped you identify any fret or fretboard problems on your guitar. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please hit the like button or subscribe to our channel.